Hello, thank you for joining me for another Yankee candle review video. I seem to just be doing Yankee at the moment. I promise that will change. I have some deliveries on the way from Goose Creek and Colonial Candles, so they will get a good review. But for the moment, this video concerns a promotion on Yankee. I think it was a few weeks ago now. It was the small jars, 3 for $10, which is an amazing bargain, really. One jar alone on the Yankee website costs $10.99, so 3 for $10 is an absolute bargain. I'm not a huge fan of small jars. I don't buy a lot of them, so the price alone is quite expensive for a small jar, which I've touched upon before. And they don't throw amazingly well because of their size. They're probably on par, maybe a little bit stronger than a votive. So they only really work well in small spaces like bathrooms, small bedrooms, landings, which is primarily where I'll be using mine, the bathroom and the landing. Yeah, I bought 15 of them, so $50. I used the promotion 5 times. And they make good stocking fillers. I think their size makes them quite cute. And you know, if you can get them on a sale price, I think they make good stocking fillers, good birthday presents, Christmas presents, and you know, anyone who's not had a Yankee or hasn't really was getting into candle burning, this is a good introduction, and a good way of caring for a candle that's not a big candle that you'll waste if it tunnels. You know, just being a small candle, they usually they can look after themselves. You don't need a lot of attention. I mean, you can't get Illumilids in small size, but the small jars I've used have always performed quite well. So we'll jump straight into it with the first one, Winter Garden. This was a scent I think it was released last year or the year before. It's it's quite light, but you have got a green note in there. Yeah, it is a kind of a mix of, greens, evergreens and snow. A nice winter scent. You could burn this through winter, obviously, but you really could have it any time of the year. I don't think it's specifically a winter smell. I think the green note kind of lends itself to spring. So I guess the perfect time of year would be, January, February, if you have snow, and then as that snow starts to melt and you have things like snowdrops and daffodils come through, this would be a lovely complementary scent. It is light, so I'm hoping it's a little bit stronger. I think I've only ever had it in a votive before, and I can't remember how it performed. So this could be hit or miss. But it's a really, really nice smell. I love the label as well. Frosted leaves, it's just beautiful. The second one, I actually bought 2 of these. Eucalyptus. Now, I was introduced to Eucalyptus earlier on in the year. I went to a candle shop in Wales, and it had a large jar of it, and I sniffed it, and it was really strong. It was like knock your socks off eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is a very kind of menthol smell. You get it in a lot of cold remedies like Vicks Vapor Rub, things like that. It's a very strong smell, very helpful when you have a cold to unblock your sinuses. These small jars don't smell as strong as that large jar. These don't knock my socks off, but the eucalyptus is definitely there. I bought 2 purely because we're entering the winter months, so in the event of a cold, hopefully a couple of these burning in the bathroom will help me to breathe again. But I quite like eucalyptus. It's very different to my usual scents, and very refreshing, very, very pungent, quite striking smell. So I'm looking forward to these. I really, really do hope they perform well. I think, they're both 2015 pours. I've not heard anything on eucalyptus this year, so I'm hoping it performs well. The next one I've got, I already reviewed last time, Lavender Vanilla. Still lovely, sweet, a lavender smell, but sweetened with the vanilla. Herbal, but really, really lovely. I won't go on too much about this. I bought the 2-wick, I think, before the Lavender Vanilla, or the other way around. I think I bought that before the 2-wick tumbler. Lush Berries is the next one. I think this was an autumn release for this year. Very, very, very fruity. it's berries, it's raspberry, it's blackberry. It's a shame. I think this could have been improved with perhaps a touch of spice or a bit of smokiness. I think that would have made it a really nice autumn scent. As it is, it's just a fruity scent. Although it was released as an autumn scent, this could be burnt any time of the year. It lends itself to the summer. It's sweet. If you like your sweet and fruity smells, this will go well. I have actually burnt this. It did throw really, really well for a small jar. Very pleased with it. Very sweet smell in the room. Really quite yummy. The next is a bit of a Yankee classic, Sage and Citrus. Quite a few candle companies do this mix now. I think because Yankees have become so popular that other candle companies follow, and there is quite a few that actually smell the same. I know Kringle's smells exactly the same as Yankees. Sage is such a lovely mellow smell, kind of in the same way that lavender is. Herbal, very relaxing scent. And the citrus just gives it a little bit of an edge. Once again, this is an any time of the year smell. I've had this before in a tumbler. The tumbler performed amazingly, so I'm hoping this will do just as well. So yeah, I don't really know why anyone wouldn't like this. It's not overly masculine. It's not overly herby or fruity or floral. It's just a perfect blend. It's a background smell. It doesn't punch you with fragrance. It's just mellow in the background. It's a really nice fragrance. Yes, so that's Sage and Citrus. The next is a dud. My second ever Yankee candle dud, Crisp Morning Air. Now, I already read negative reviews on this, but I thought, I read negative reviews on Autumn in the Park, which was released at the same time. And when I burnt Autumn in the Park, I could smell, the scent of apples come through. So I thought, I'll give this a go. As it's part of the promotion, it's quite cheap. But this basically may as well be an unscented candle. I burnt this in the bathroom and not a thing, couldn't smell a thing. I've burnt it quite profusely as well. I'd say about a quarter has gone down. And nothing. The other Yankee candle that I had real disappointment with was Mountain Lodge. That was in a small tumbler. Once again, I put it in the bathroom, and the bathroom is quite a small space, so any candle should be able to perform well in there, whatever scent. And tea lights, even the scented tea lights, have performed well in there, and that tumbler and this candle didn't. I couldn't smell a thing. On cold, there's a smell there, but I'm not sure if it's just the wax. I'm not smelling anything that reminds me of a Crisp Morning Air. You may feel differently. What I would say is possibly get this, either if you can get it cheap in a small jar, or a votive, or a tart, then try those first. Don't just buy a large jar or tumbler blind, because I think you might be disappointed. So this was really... It's really disappointing when you get a candle that doesn't smell, especially from a company like Yankee, who are known world over for their scented candles. You expect quality. And this was my first disappointment. Unfortunately, being in the UK, I can't return this. So it's just going to get burnt as quickly as possible, and then I'll reuse the jar to put some spices in or something. But yeah, just a real disappointment. I will not buy Crisp Morning Air again in any way, shape or form, unless Yankee do something drastic with the recipe. The next jar was Farmer's Market. Now, I have burnt this before in votive and in a medium jar. It's a really, really nice smell. It's fruity and it's spicy. It's kind of what Lush Berries should be for an autumn scent. It's got that fruit, but it's also got that spice that's reminiscent of autumn. It shows things like grapes, apples, peaches, and blackberries on the cover. I can't identify one fruit. It does lean towards peach. It's that orangey, citrusy smell, and very sweet like peach. But there's also spice in there, cinnamon definitely. This is a really nice early autumn scent, I think. really lends itself, just as it's starting to get cold, the leaves are just starting to turn. It's not full on autumn, you've still got the remains of summer. And this kind of suits it really well. I must say, it doesn't smell like any farmer's market I've ever been to. They usually smell of meat and barbecue. But this is just lovely. Really nice and fruity. I said I've burnt this and it has performed really, really well. So if you like that fruity but spicy twist, you'll like this. So it's a really perfect autumn candle. Because of the time of year we're in now, I'm kind of leaning more towards pumpkin and heavy spice scents. So they might save this until next autumn. And I still have a medium jar of it to get through. The next is kitchen spice. This is a new one for me. We actually have this, I think, in the UK, and I've seen it loads of times, but I've never really bothered with it. It's orange, and they do show orange on the cover, and it's mixed with clove and cinnamon and nutmeg. In a way, it's kind of reminiscent to a Christmas candle. Like the Christingle scented candles with the orange studded with cloves. It's very much like that. But there is a certain element in there which does remind you of a kitchen and a pantry, kind of ever so slight woodiness. Really slight, but really, really lovely. It said, because of the orange and the clove, it just takes me to Christmas. If you're not so hung up on that, then you could probably burn this from autumn all the way through to winter. I'll probably be burning this around about now. When it starts getting colder and once Halloween is out of the way, that transitional period, in November, because, in the UK we don't have Thanksgiving, so after Halloween and before Christmas, it's kind of like a dead zone. So I might have this as to fill that dead zone. Because I think it would smell really, really nice, and I think it will evoke that, Christmas is coming kind of feeling. The next one is another autumn scent, pumpkin ginger bark. I've burnt this in a votive before, and it's lovely. Really strong ginger and pumpkin. I have to admit, I didn't even know what bark was. In the UK, the only bark we're used to is the stuff on the tray. It wasn't until I actually went to the US that I discovered it. It's kind of like a confectionery, and a very nice confectionery. So it is sweet, but it is very spicy, very gingery. If you like your strong ginger smells, you will love this. This is perfect for the autumn. This will be getting burnt this week in the run-up to Halloween. It's a really winter warmer kind of smell. The next 5 are all Christmas scents. The first one, Holiday Bayberry, which I reviewed before. And once again, I bought this before I bought the 2-wick tumbler, but received the 2-wick tumbler first. It's herbally, it's earthy. There's a tinge of pine, the feeling of coldness of snow. It's a really nice scent. I'm really looking forward to burning both this and the 2-wick tumbler. I think I could quite easily fall in love with that. It's a very winter reminiscent smell. The next one is Berry of Cedar. Once again, I think I've only had it in a votive. This surprised me. I thought this would be a little bit more woody because of the cedar. It's quite fruity. There is a woodiness there, but it's second fiddle to the berry. For me, it's kind of reminiscent to Christmas Eve. A fruity smell, but this one said it is a little bit more festive for me because there is a touch of cedar in there. I'll probably be burning this in the early days of December in the run-up to Christmas. This could be a nice change from cinnamon scents. But yeah, Berry of Cedar. It's a nice candle. I would give it a go. Although I don't associate fruit with Christmas. I think that's just the right kind of fruity scent for Christmas. It's not too sweet and sickly. It's almost kind of fresh in a way. That's possibly the cedar, I don't know. But yeah, it's quite a unique smell. The next one is Pine Cone and Lime. Now it seems that the oils have kind of run because the inside lid is very, very green. But that's a really nice smell, really fresh smell. The lime is the major note here. You know, there's that sharp tang of lime, followed by the pine. This would possibly be an after Christmas smell. It's weird because lime, you know, is not associated with Christmas in any way, form that I know. But it is oddly festive. I think possibly because of the pine. It's an odd combination, but it does work. So I'll be looking forward to burning that. I think I have a couple of votives with that too. The next two are classics, really. This is Red Apple Reef, which I love, and I always seem to look over. I think because it's so available, it's so commonly available, you can get it anywhere, that I always kind of like ignore it to set for scents that aren't so readily available. But it's a shame because it is such a lovely smell. It's really evocative at this time of year. You know, it's apples and it's cinnamon. You know, it's everything you could want in a festive candle. You could burn this from autumn all the way up to Christmas. You know, because the apple, kind of red. You know, apples are in season now, and you know they relate to the harvest. They relate to apple cider, Christmas, wassail in the new year. So you know, this you could easily burn this throughout the next 3 months. I'd say it's a really nice smell. Really, you know, apple and cinnamon. You know, if you don't like apple and cinnamon, you might want to stay clear of that one. And the last one is a bit of an American classic, Balsam Cedar. Not commonly available in the UK, but I said it does seem to be quite a flagship smell in the US. You know, you can get just, I think this scent comes in every format. You know, tarts, votives, jars, tumblers, icicles, plug-ins, car scents. It is a lovely smell. It's a lovely woody and piney smell. You know, perfect for scents like Christmas tree, sparkling pine, crisp spruce, all those lovely pine, ever so slightly woody smells that lend themselves to winter. Yeah, I mean, if you can't find Christmas tree, this is just a perfectly good alternative because it's so readily available. In the US anyway. Yeah, just really, really lovely. You know, burning this whilst putting up the Christmas tree would just be heavenly. You know, it would evoke possibly so many memories of, you know, childhood Christmases. So, yeah, Balsam Cedar, perfect Christmas scent. That's all my small jars reviewed. Like I said, I do have some on the way from Colonial and Goose Creek. They will both be reviewed in time. I also have quite a few accessories on their way for Christmas and for winter. So look out for that. So now I'm off to make some soul cakes ready for Halloween next week, or, you know, Halloween, All Souls Day, or Saints Day. So you have to have some nice baked goods. I hope you'll agree. So thank you for watching this. I hope you like it. Please do comment. Please ask any questions. You know, I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And thank you once again for watching this video. Bye bye.